Hello, Internet. Welcome back to another episode of Cave Factory. I've been busy. Let me show you what I've been up to since the last episode. You can probably guess already, but I did set up the simple storage network. So I've got the request tables right here. I just moved my Tinker stuff back, so it all still technically works. The only difference is that we have the item hopper over here now. I really was hoping that it would connect to the storage request table and let me access the simple storage network in that kind of, over here, but it doesn't. So we just did it this way. It's fine. We can just ignore that hopper over there for now. I apologize if I sound a little funky today. I bit my tongue this morning while I was, early morning when I was sleeping. That's what woke me up. And it still kind of hurts. So I might be... I've also got a bit of a saliva issue going on, I think, because of the bit tongue, so there might be some effects of that. But anyway, I've dug out some space down here, as you can see, and got cabling running all over the place. So there's my network route, just right under the table. And then I have cable. So this is kind of my primary storage down here. Just a couple obsidian chests for all the random stuff. I built another diamond chest for some more storage, because these two are exactly the same. There's no point in upgrading the diamond chest to an obsidian chest, because they're the same. And I've also got some import cables, so my furnace outputs to here, and then just gets imported right away into the network. And then obviously it's also connected to the storage drawer system with a link cable. And then if we go back this way, you can see I've just got all kinds of cabling run all over the place. These are energy cables, and I will show you what we're doing with those in just a second. Here's the item cable that's coming from the ore system that's over there, and more cabling going this way. So that's not where all the interesting stuff is. Interesting stuff is all up here. So back here. Obviously, still got all this set up, but I have upgraded my blast furnace to an improved blast furnace. So we're making steel quite a bit faster, and I'm actually running out of coal coke. This version does not have the advanced coke oven. So the only real solution would be to build another coke oven to kind of keep up with the coal coke. But honestly, we're probably okay on steel, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. But as you can see, this is where some of the cabling goes to. So the cable up here, up there and show you, this one right here is exporting iron and coal coke down into the blast furnace. And then there's cables underneath each of these chests that are pulling the results out of either side. There's also some cabling going on underneath the coke oven that is keeping it full of coal. So it is keeping it full of coal and then pulling the coal coke out once it's done. And then obviously the creosote is getting pulled over here into the fluid tank. Now the fun part is what's going on back here. So as you can see, I've built an assembler, and this one right now is just set up to make treated wood planks. And I've got it hooked up with an import cable, so once they get made, which, okay, yeah, there aren't any actually in there right now, but it's filling up with creosote oil, and I have to manually put oak in here because I don't have any way to automate doing that yet. But that again then gets pulled into the system so I can access it. And the way that the immersive engineering wants you to get fluids out of this is with one of those pumps, one of these guys. But we have pipes in this pack, so I'm just like, I'll just use a pipe and just make it an extractor right there, and it works. So no point in doing that. We have a metal press that I have right now just with the plate on it, because there's a bunch of plates that we can make using the create press, but this is faster. And there's some of them that we can't do in create. Like we can't do nickel plates in create, but we can do them in the metal press. So I have that set up and obviously hooked up to energy. I have built an industrial squeezer, so we can use this to start making graphite rods for the arc furnace, which is kind of like the end of the immersive engineering tree. Right now it's not doing anything. It is hooked up to power though, so when I get to that, I can just throw stuff in there and it'll work. And I went ahead and just hooked the water wheel up to the power grid that I've built, just because why not? It's over here, might as well. But most of my power is coming from this. And as you can see, it's actually out of power, so we can go ahead and turn it on. And this is basically how I've been doing this, is I'll turn it on for a little bit, let this charge up. You can see, like right now, it's having trouble charging because all of my various things that are connected to it, there's a bunch of stuff that we're going to get to in a second. The batteries were all dead, basically, so they had to all charge up. And now it's building rather quickly because we're exceeding the energy generation of the we're generating more energy than we're consuming. And annoyingly, in this pack, there's no kind of energy storage. There's no batteries. There's no the only thing that we have in this pack that stores any kind of energy that we can use is the flux storage stuff. And like those are not terribly huge. Like gargantuan flux storage is only 128 million FE, which is not that much if you actually stop and think about it. So yeah, so now this is full, so I'll just turn it off and let it drain. But yeah, if you look here, this is 1.1 million FE. Like that's, 128 of those is what'll fit in there. Not a whole lot. But anyway, I've got export and import cables set up on here, so this is kept full of uranium, and then as the waste is generated, it's pulled out immediately. And that's what I'm doing with my power. Rather than messing around with this stuff, we just went nuclear. All right, the thing that I'm doing primarily with my power is right back in here. So as you can see, I've taken down all of the crops that were growing back in here, and I've moved all of them that I can into garden cloches. So I've got my sugarcane and bamboo, cactus, all of it, all growing back in here. I love these three right here. Just amuse me because they're just like somebody with a push pop. Like you're just slowly pushing up from below. And they just go up. And then eventually they get too tall and the top breaks off and they just keep going. It amuses me. But anyway, these are all being grown back here. And then they're getting pulled out by the simple storage network and stored in the storage drawers. I've also set up like some mushrooms. And I set up the nether wart. I wanted to have one right here. The problem is that a redstone signal turns off the garden cloche, and a redstone signal turns on the fluid pump. So you can't have the two of them next to each other. You need to have a space in between. Otherwise, the cloche won't work. Now, unfortunately, we can't grow kelp inside of a garden cloche. As far as I can tell, the only way we can grow kelp is in the world. So this is going to require a create solution to farm, which is one of the challenges anyway. So, but yeah, as you can see, so I've got cabling and everything running all down here with all the different wires and everything all set up. I haven't really done much with the villagers. I'm kind of actually at a loss. I guess it's nighttime because the villagers are all sleeping. But I guess I'm kind of at a loss as to what to do with my villagers. Because I guess I could use an iron farm. We're down to 5 blocks of iron. But once we run out of coal coke, we're not going to be going through iron as fast. And we should actually generate some, so I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. There's a few things that we do need from the villagers, but other than that, not really. Anyway, the other things that I need to keep working on is I need to work on my my lumber production, because I haven't really done anything with that. It's still just a manual farm over here, and I haven't done anything with my ingot processing over here. Really, the only thing that I could do, and I really should, is I can move this to the other side just to clean up all these belts a little bit. I did build one of these stupid tanks, but I'm not going to use it for anything. At least not right now. I might end up using it for something in the future, but for right now, that's about it. So anyway, I have a few quests that I have completed. So we're going to go through and mark these off. Let's see here. We have nothing in this screen. The only things that are left here is the glass block for wither killing, and then this challenge to build a tunneler, basically, which I'm not sure what I would do, and then a rotation speed controller. What I have been doing is I've been working in this factory tree here. So we built the assembler. Obviously, I showed you guys that one already. We got an extracting conveyor belt, which isn't super useful, since I've been using pipes to move stuff around more than immersive engineering. We got ourselves a metal press, and that gives me the wire mold, which is nice because currently what I've been doing is I've been using that, which works, but it's kind of a pain, so let's put that away. I've also been using the plate cast for the stuff that you can't make using that. So the wire is actually a good thing. I'm just going to store it in here just so that it's nearby where we want to be using it. Kind of like what's going on here. So this is my workbench where I've been using to make the various components and everything to make those garden cloches. And then I've got the extra blueprints in the chest next to it. Anyway, built the squeezer. This is going to give me a bunch of wheat seeds, which I don't really need. But the point of them giving you the wheat seeds is that you can use them to make plant oil, and you need plant oil to make diesel in the refinery. So we'd also have to make a fermenter, and then we'd get the refinery, and then we can get the diesel generator. I'm going to do these to complete the challenges, but I'm probably not actually going to build these structures because I don't need a diesel generator. I have nuclear power. Why go diesel when we have nuclear? Anyway, keeping going here, I've collected up all of the materials for a pump jack. It gives me a capacitor backpack. I'm not sure what good that is, but we can look into it. So all the pump jack stuff is in here. I obviously have not built the pump jack because I don't know where to put it. You know, you gotta use this, the core sample drill, to figure out where your iron deposit or your oil deposits are, and then you build the pump jack in that chunk and pumps the oil up. Problem is that you need to power this. They give you this portable generator, but unless it's already got fuel in it, which it does not. Yeah, so I'm not really sure how you're meant to use the core sample drill, because if I wanted to say sample this chunk, I need power. I don't have any way to put fuel in this, because in order to make this runs on gasoline. In order to get gasoline, you need crude oil. You need to go through the whole crude oil process. In order to find crude oil, you need to use your sample drill. So how do I get power into this thing initially? Basically, what I'm going to end up having to do, I think, is I'm just going to set it up back in here and just connect it to my power grid directly, for at least for the first couple of runs. I'm probably going to want the pump jack somewhere nearby anyway, so that it can actually run, because I'm going to have to hook that up to power grid too. And then the last thing that I've done is obviously made a tank from Create. It gives me a backpack fluid storage upgrade. Yeah. But yeah, we're not using the tanks from Create for anything because you can't bucket in and out of them. You have to use Create contraptions to get materials in and out. So we're just not doing that right now. Maybe we should build an iron farm. But anyway, the next thing that we're going to want to make is a crusher. And the crusher is what we use to make coke dust. And then you take coke dust and you turn that into these graphite electrodes. Or, well, you make it into the graphite ingots. Yeah, so you smelt the dust, make them into the ingots. Then you take the ingots and you turn them into electrodes. The electrodes go into your arc furnace. And I think, yeah, the arc furnace is there. And we need an arc furnace in order to make endstone to be able to get to the end. We're still a ways away from that, but that's the goal. So as far as challenges go down here, we can actually check this one off because we have a completely automatic, mostly sustainable steel setup. The parts that are making it not sustainable are the fact that we're limited on our coal production and we're limited on our iron production. But those aren't things that I can control because they're both just random based on the ore generator over there. Whenever it decides to generate some coal, that's when we get coal. When it decides it's going to generate some iron, that's when we get iron. I'm going to make an iron farm because we are going through iron very quickly. So let's do that. Let's go over here and make us an iron farm. Let's figure out where we want to put it. So we can't put it through this wall because that's where my pneumatic stuff is. Okay, so it looks like as long as we're at least 16 blocks away from any other space, the golem should spawn where we want them to. So essentially what I want to do is I want to go kind of over into this area here and build the golem because we need to make sure that we're 16 blocks from all of this and then 16 blocks from all of this. And since like this is all my immersive engineering stuff back here, this is the tree, the fruit tree farm back in here, and you know, here's my nether portal and all of that. So I know I'm going to be expanding more around here because this is where all my immersive engineering stuff is. I'm definitely going to be expanding more over here because this is where my Botania stuff is, and that's where that's going to be going. But I'm probably not going to be expanding this area too much more. Maybe more this way if I find more villagers that I need to do. But for the most part, this is just going to stay the way it is. And this, I don't know if I'm going to be changing this or doing something different with it or what. But so somewhere over here should be good. Not going to make you guys sit and watch this whole process because I know you've seen iron farms before. You've seen me build an iron farm before. If you watched any of my hardcore series, you know we've built iron farms in those. So, but basically we need to be at least 16 blocks away from this. So, or well, I know it's 8 blocks from this, but I'm gonna go 16 just to be safe. Okay, so that should give me a decent a place to build the iron farm where we're not going to be getting golems spawning actually in my, you know, in the base or in anything else like that. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna build this iron farm. I'm not gonna make you guys watch it. I will bring you guys back in once I have the farm built. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, so I'm still working on the iron farm. We're currently waiting for villagers to breed because I don't have enough. But as you can see, I am now completely out of iron. I'm even out of nuggets, which is kind of impressive. So there's probably some sitting. Yeah, there's some sitting in here, but I'm now out of coal coke. I'm basically out of iron. So we do need to get this. We do need to get an iron farm actually up and running. The tricky part is going to be getting these villagers to cooperate because villagers are always a pain. Always a pain. So to kind of show you what I'm at right now, we're waiting for these two to make a couple more villagers. They're not yet going to breed because these two villagers, which I've taken down this hallway, they are in here. They still have beds claimed over there, and they can't pathfind to these beds, so they think they can't get to them. So we're just going to pop a block right there so that these guys will unclaim those beds and will claim beds over here. You could actually escape by popping to this space right here. That's fine. That's fine for right now because we're not worried about. I just want to keep them separated from the two sets of beds. But my plan is to put the actual golem spawn / kill chamber underneath the villagers instead of usually you put the chamber above the villagers with this design. But I'm going to put it down underneath, which means that this block right here is actually going to be a trapdoor. So the villagers shouldn't see this as a valid place to get out of bed at. So we're going to have to wait until night, and hopefully the villagers will pick different beds, and then we can go from there. So that's where we're at right now. Yeah. See you once they've decided to cooperate. If they decide to cooperate. Oh, and if you were thinking that I should just breed them back in the spawn chamber or the gossip chamber, whatever you want to call it, doing that, I would have to have one more block available above the beds because baby villagers need 2 air blocks above the bed. Or no, they need 3 air blocks above the bed in order to be able to jump on the bed. Which is just a pain. You gotta dig it out, and then I'd have to put the blocks back in, and I'm just not gonna worry about it. But yeah, so that's my reasoning for not putting the bed there. So anyway, or not breeding in there. So anyway. All right, so I've almost got the villagers where I want them. I've just got to get these two into the chamber over here. If I can get this guy to go around the corner. Thank you. Keep going. Put a block there. So, yeah, I've got 3 in here. I just need to get these two to frickin' cooperate. Now they're going. Now they're just going to go. Okay. All right. All right. So we've got them in there. I suppose that torch isn't going to hurt anything. Yeah, but now they're in. We're good. There's nowhere around here where a golem can actually spawn right now because all of the available space is too small for them. So we should be all good. So we'll just lock them in there. I do have a glass block over top of that bed right there. I don't know that that's required. But just to be on the safe side, I figured I'd go ahead and put it in there. And then, like I said, we're going to put the trap door right here, and we're going to put the kill chamber down underneath. So we just need to let them do their thing. We'll need all of them to actually sleep in their beds. And there should be solid blocks, so they shouldn't try to claim the beds out here. And then we just got to build the kill chamber. So I'll see you guys once I've got that figured out. All right, so hopefully, if I've done this correctly, the villagers are over here gossiping and getting ready to start spawning golems. You guys stay in there. I did have a problem. I checked this once before. Good. Okay, I had a villager escape from the box because the fact that there was a fence or a trapdoor right here, they're actually able to spawn on the trapdoors. I didn't realize that. So I just took the trapdoor out, replaced it with a ladder, so now they shouldn't be able to get out of that bed into this space. So basically all we're waiting for now is for them to spawn a golem. And this space should be big enough for a golem to spawn in. We just gotta wait and see. The plan for collecting the items is going to be to use this guy here. So this is an advanced item collector. It should be able to just grab the items. I want to make sure that the golems are actually going to spawn. So I'm pretty much going to just leave them over here, let them do their thing, and I'll just come by periodically and check on it. You know, I usually have my magnet turned on, so I'll probably just walk over here and end up with a bunch of iron and poppies in my inventory if it's working. If it's not working, we might have to figure something else out. But in the meantime, while we're waiting for that to actually spawn some golems, what I have been doing is I've looked around a little bit, poked around, and discovered that there is, in fact, a redstone port option for the Extreme Reactor. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here, and we're going to switch... we're going to swap out two of these casings. I can't words today. We're going to swap out two of these casings for these redstone ports and then hook up a comparator and basically automate turning this on and off as the energy level goes up and down rather than me having to do it manually all the time. So that'll help with my energy production in and out. But that's what I'm going to work on while we wait for the golem, for the iron farm to actually kick on and start working. So I will see you guys with an update, whichever one happens first. See you in a bit. All right, so if I've set this up right, basically what we've got going on here is we have a redstone reactor port here that is set to turn on once the buffer is 90% or above. We have a port here that is set to turn on when the buffer is below 10%. Okay, above 90%, not equal to. And those two run over to this guy. And then we have a toggle latch here from Create, which is basically a T-flop, only modded so it's a single block instead of a big old structure. And then that'll power this block, which sends another signal over to this guy. And this is just, as long as there is a redstone signal, the reactor is on. So right now it's powered off because it is currently 18% and gradually dropping. So in just a little bit here, it should kick on, charge up, reach 91% or so, and then shut off again. And if that's the case, if that works, then I've done it correctly and we're good. So that's an input, that's an input, that is an output, that is an input, and that is an output. All right, everything should be good. And the nice thing with this too is I can always come over here and just manually flip this if I need to. So if something isn't working right, we can do it manually. All right, we're at 12% right now. Now we're at 11. So it should be kicking on here in just a second. And the nice thing about immersive engineering wires, the redstone wires, is that they do light up so you can see when they're active. Should be any second now. It should be kicking on. Oh, there we go. It just did. We can see the switches on. I guess I missed the actual wires updating. I can see actually, yeah, you can't, because now this one's lit, but you can't really tell as easily. I must have changed that at some point. All right, but now it is on. It is steadily charging up the internal buffer. And once it hits 90%, 91%, it should shut off again. There we go. It's off. And it keeps charging a little bit afterwards because it's still producing output. But that's what we want. That's exactly the way we want it to behave. So that I don't have to keep coming over here and messing with that every 10 minutes or so. One of the really handy things about immersive engineering is these redstone wire. All right, let's go check on the iron farm and see if that has decided if it's going to work or not. I can see the villager breeder is working again, so that's good. I'm going to be annoyed if this doesn't work and I end up having to rebuild it. It's not working. Why is it not working? 2 blocks, no, 3 block. It needs to be 3 air blocks above a solid surface. Solid surface, 3 blocks. There's plenty of space in there. Iron golems can spawn in 1 block or less of water. There's nothing stopping a golem from spawning in here. I don't understand what's going on. To just pick stuff up, so then I can just come down here and I'll just come down here and check, and maybe it's working, but I'm not coming back fast enough to actually see the items or pick the items up. So hopefully this will grab any items instead. All right, see, the villagers are up now. They're gossiping. They should be spawning golems. But, like, I don't hear golems. I don't see golems. I know that this works. I know golems can spawn underneath these iron farms because I've had situations where I've put something underneath my iron farm, forgotten about it, and then I come back and there's a golem standing on it looking at me. So I know golems can spawn underneath these farms. And everything says that they only need 3 blocks above them. So I don't know why it is not working. It is annoying me. I am out of iron. Yeah, I currently have 5 blocks, but that's because I turned this off. If I turn that back on, I would chew through my iron really quickly, which means that my steel is technically I should go uncheck that challenge, I suppose, because I don't actually have sustainable steel production right now, since my iron is not cooperating. But all right, well, anyway, we did get one thing accomplished, at least, is the reactor. It is currently off. And it is draining, so that is perfect. That's absolutely perfect. That's what we want. We've got power then situated. It's all sorted out. We don't have to sit and mess with it anymore. And I don't have to deal with these stupid things. All right, anyway, I'm going to keep messing around with this iron farm, and I'll see if I can figure out what's going on with it. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can figure out what's going on with this iron farm. We might have to move the kill chamber. I don't want to have to move the kill chamber, but we might have to. We'll see. I'll see. I'll figure it out. Check in with you guys once I got that sorted. I finally got the iron farm working. It turns out the problem was that for whatever reason, and I still don't know what it is because I swear I've had it actually spawn golems underneath, but the golems will not spawn under the villager chamber like this. They will spawn to the sides of it and they will spawn above it, but they will not spawn underneath it. So, as you can see, I have built the spawn chamber right up here. The only thing that I've done, basically, this is basically the vanilla iron farm design. The main difference is that I don't have any hoppers here because all my stuff is being collected by the advanced item collector here, which I can just barely look at. It's being collected by that, and then it ends up in the chest right here. So basically, once morning comes and the villagers wake up, then they will start generating some iron again. The iron and poppies end up in the chest, and then I have an item pipe right here that pulls it out, and eventually it ends up in the storage drawer. So the reason it didn't pull the wall in is because there's no place for the wall to go in the storage drawers. You can see we've got 22 poppies. I got 9 blocks worth of iron. So we're actually generating some iron again. I do have the steel furnace over there turned off. Now, the reason why there is a red box over here is because I have the projection for a crusher, for the immersive engineering crusher. So I did actually go ahead and put together everything that I need to be able to make a crusher, and that straight up gets us some coke dust. We will still need to build the arc furnace. Apparently we got to get the graphite electrodes first. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to build the crusher. The fun thing about the projector is as long as it's in your hotbar or in your offhand, it'll show this ghost view. I don't know that I've ever actually shown this before. But if we put all the components into my hotbar here, you can see that it's highlighting whatever I'm holding. So I'm holding the scaffolding. Now I'm holding the light engineering blocks, you know, the hoppers and steel fence, which are further up so they don't actually show. But it's a really easy way to put these together. Your frames do tend to take a bit of a dip with these ghost blocks being displayed, but since, you know, you're not doing it perpetually, so it's not as big of a deal as it seems like it might be. And for, you know, like these are going to show up as red because they're not supposed to be connected to that wall right there. It'll work just fine. And then bip. And now you see it's still mad because there's those there's those fences back there, but like I said, it'll be fine. I just got to go over here and grab the hammer. And now we just need to figure out what exactly we click to get it to activate. So the crusher uses, pause it. So it's the fence post on the side where the redstone block is. It is very nice that this version does that. Yeah, so it's the one on the other side. It's really nice that this version of immersive engineering does that. The version that I was using back in 1.12 did not highlight the machine that, or the block that you needed to click to get the multi-blocks to form. You were just kind of left on, well, it told you in the text which block, but that was only of, you know, so usefulness. And then items come out right there. I'm actually going to want to turn this around, aren't I? Because otherwise it's going to be a pain in the ass to do. And actually, we can do this a little bit easier because all I really need to do, put that there, and then switch this and this. So like that, and now forgot to hopper. There we go. And then of course the projector gets mad because stuff is not where it thinks it should be, so we'll just put that back on selection mode the next time we need to use it. But that'll work out better anyway, because then we have a network cable right here, so we can take the outputs and pull it in nice and easy. And then we just got to get the pipe and hook it up to power. We do not. Okay, I got to go make some more. You absolutely do not want to fall in the crusher. It will kill you. In fact, an important piece of safety on the crusher is to put a lever on it. You can just turn it off when you need to. Anytime you're going to be up on top of it, working around it or anything like that, yeah, just turn it off. You know, or disconnect the power, which is what you should do for, like, you know, industrial applications. So anyway, with the lever turned on, the crusher now will not turn on, even if there is stuff inside it, which normally is when it turns on is when it feels items go in there. Well, items that it can crush. So, like, for example, here, if I take this gold ore and toss it in, nothing happens. But if I flip the switch, it crushes and spits out the result down there. To get the coke dust, we need to take coal coke and toss it into a crusher. All right, and looks like it's 1-to-1. So I just want to make this first ingot. I do have some coal coke, because I turned off the steel production, so we've actually got this. I should probably also just set this up to just run this straight through the whole time, because you can actually make steel from the dust. All right, now we put that in. You can see that it's activated. And we now have some graphite dust. The graphite dust smelts into an ingot, but we need 4 ingots. We need coal coke faster. There's no way to accelerate the coke oven. We need to build a second coke oven. I think that's probably something to work on for the next episode, as well as actually getting these rods made. I'm also going to need the rod plate, which I can actually get pretty easily because I have that right there. So that'll let me get the rod. There we go. We can make the rod. We'll just put that wire back, take those back out. Now we have the rod. There we go. Now we've got 4 of these guys. Now we take these 4 and graphite electrode. I need 3 of these. Use a blueprint to craft electrode with full durability. What? Oh, that's right. There's a blueprint we can get from this guy that'll let us make the electrodes without having to crunk them on the crunker here. All right. Well, anyway, that's something for me to work on in between episodes. So I will be doing that. I'm going to work on... I'm going to build another coke oven. I'm going to work on getting the electrodes collected, and then I will, yeah, they give you Unbreaking 3 books because they want you to enchant them. So I'm going to get that one finished. I'm going to put together what I need for the arc furnace. I'll probably also just grab these 2 real quick, even though I'm not going to actually build any of this stuff. I'll just clear those quests out, and probably start working on also getting myself diesel production. So I will need to, grab my core sample and start core sampling some of these chunks around here, and hopefully we'll find something good. But in the meantime, I hope you guys are enjoying the series. If you're liking it, let me know by hitting that like button down there at the bottom of the screen under the video. If you want to make sure that you're getting all of these videos, hit the subscribe button so that YouTube will notify you, and as well as letting YouTube know that this channel is worth promoting. That's another good thing that we need to have happen. If you like watching my antics and you would like to see my hours of confusion and muttering at the camera and so on and so forth that I always cut out of these videos, I do stream on Twitch. So you can catch me over there at twitch.tv/sillysnowfox and see all of my confusion, befuddlement, and doing things wrong live. I also sometimes play very difficult games and rage at them. So lots of fun things for me to do. I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else that I need to make sure that I tell you guys. I'm going to work on those few projects here in the cave factory. So until next time, I hope you guys are having yourselves a wonderful time. See you in the next video. Happy Minecrafting.